Thanks, Felicia. Hey everyone, welcome. Happy Friday.
Hey, happy Friday.
Thanks so much for joining us. My name is Jessie Jennings and I'm a content creator here at Plaid. And we have Emma Panuski in the studio, who is also a content creator here. And today she's going to be showing us how to make this really super cute Mod Podge Easter egg tree for Easter. So it's a really fun, sort of sophisticated, chic way to decorate for the coming holiday. So in a little bit, she's going to go over the supplies and let us know everything you need from michaels.com. As always, this class is being recorded. So if you want to go back and watch it later, or if you forget something that Emma said, a little tip or trick, you can go back in about 24 to 48 hours on michaels.com and watch this class again. Plaid is always here. We have several classes a week. We are here Monday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern time doing our paint night. And then we usually have a couple of craft classes throughout the week. So make sure to check out our other classes. Thank you, Michaels Community Classroom, as always, for having us. We are so happy to be here. We have so much fun doing these classes and getting to interact with all the awesome people. If you decide to craft along with us and you want to share your project with us on social media, please hashtag Plaid Crafts and hashtag Make It With Michaels, because that's how we can see all the awesome things you're making. And without further ado, I will stop talking and let Emma go ahead and show you guys how to make this really cute Easter tree.
Okay, awesome. So like Jessie said, I want to welcome everyone in and give Michaels a huge thank you for letting us do this class today and providing you guys with a little bit of spring inspiration. Like Jessie said, just to remind everyone, if you decide to do a project like this using Mod Podge at home, make sure to hashtag Make It With Michaels and Plaid Crafts. We're always looking under those two hashtags and we get so inspired by all of the things that you guys are making. So without further ado, let's go ahead and I'm just going to kind of reiterate everything that was on the event listing, just if you guys are watching this live and you're crafting along with us, or you're watching it live, preparing to craft it along at a later date. I'm going to read the supplies, but I also just want to reiterate that this class is being recorded. And so in about 24 to 48 hours, the class will be available on demand at your own leisure on Michael's YouTube page and on michaels.com. So let's go ahead. So of course, what you're going to need, the star of the craft today, is Mod Podge. And it doesn't matter what finish of Mod Podge you use. You can use the matte formula or the gloss formula or the satin formula. And I'm actually going to show off some of our more special formulas too. So stick around for that. You can really use any type of Mod Podge for Easter eggs. Next, you're going to use some FolkArt paint, and this is just to base coat some of our ornaments, just to give them a nice opaque color before we cut out some shapes from our craft paper to Mod Podge onto that. And of course, you're going to need some eggs. So as you can see here, these are like a kind of plastic egg, like a, what would you call this material, Jess?
To be honest, it almost feels like kind of like paper. It's hollow
Yeah.
and it's like cuttable and it's matte. Honestly, I'm not sure what those are made of, but we use them every year for crafting. They're awesome.
Yes, or paper mache or wooden eggs. Even you can use, you know, the plastic eggs that come apart that you would use for Easter egg hunts. I just wouldn't use real eggs because they wouldn't last as long, obviously. But you could use, I mean, you'd have to be really gentle, but I guess you could use blown eggs too. Whatever eggs you have at home. And then we have this really cute wood shape pack that we got at Michael's, and it has all these shapes that you see here, all these oval shapes and these teardrop shapes and circle shapes. Super cute. The possibilities are endless with what you can use for this craft. Let me just make sure. Oh, and of course, treasure gold. As you can see here, we kind of dipped the edges of our ornaments in treasure gold. And I'm going to show you, look at this guy, look how gorgeous he is. And I'm going to show you how we dry brushed in treasure gold. That's a really pretty technique, and it's really easy and simple too. So any questions so far, Jess?
Christine said, what about styrofoam eggs?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. You could totally use styrofoam eggs too. Like I said, any eggs you have at home, if it's not like an absorbent material, if it's like a plastic egg, then I would recommend using FolkArt multi-surface. But for these paper eggs and these paper mache eggs, since they're so absorbent, the regular FolkArt acrylic will work just fine. Okay, so first we're going to whip out our wooden shapes. And oh, I forgot like the most important part. You're gonna need some scrapbook paper. So Michaels has a ton of awesome spring themed paper packs. And that's what really makes this project come to life. You can use whatever colors you like, whatever papers you like. You can either buy a paper pack or just buy some loose papers in their scrapbooking section and their paper craft section. And you can really make it your own with those things. But we've picked these really cute paper packs that they're selling at Michael's right now. It is the Bloom Fetty paper pack and the Happy Spring paper pack. And look how cute these are. They're just filled with floral designs, really bright kind of rainbow colors. As you can see on this ornament tree, we used a really mature color palette, and we used, I'll go over the paint colors too. We used FolkArt Minted Aqua, FolkArt Plantation Rose, FolkArt Midnight, and FolkArt French Lilac. So together, these colors just make a really more mature spring pattern, kind of a more sophisticated look for sure.
So a couple questions then.
Yeah.
Cricut said, first of all, comment, which is great. Oh, Hot Buy scrapbook paper is on sale big time, $5.99 each. Awesome. Perfect time to be buying it. Yep. And then Gail said, what are you using for the tree part? Are they artificial pussy willows?
They are real pussy willows. So our content creator, Dylan, actually snipped these from our own tree here at our Plaid headquarters. That's a great question. And it's like, I can't stop feeling them. They're so soft.
but that's yes, a really great tip. Any kind of tree you have outside, you can just snip branches and cut off, remove the leaves from them, and they'll dry nicely in your home if you want to hang things on it in a vase.
Absolutely. And I wanted to mention that at the start of the class, but I didn't think to. You might be thinking, Emma, why are you making an Easter tree? Isn't there only Christmas trees? We just kind of thought it'd be fun to have an Easter tree and celebrate all holidays. And obviously we decorate for all holidays, but it's kind of becoming trendy now to start decorating different, obviously for Christmas we have pine trees, but it's kind of become a thing to decorate other trees for corresponding holidays and use the trees that are blooming around the time of that holiday. So that's why we chose to do an Easter tree, because we thought it was super cute.
Some people leave their Christmas trees up all year long and decorate for the holidays. They just use the same tree, which I think is so fun.
Yeah, when I was growing up, we had like a ficus that we would decorate for Easter, like a fake one.
Yeah,
and it was
cool.
Yeah, just rainbow eggs on it.
Wow, that's nice.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started.
Real quick, while you're just pulling papers, can you just remind us the paint colors again? I'll put them in the chat.
Absolutely. So first we have FolkArt Minted Aqua.
Okay.
FolkArt Plantation Rose.
Okay.
And FolkArt Midnight.
All right.
And FolkArt French Lilac.
Beautiful. Thank you.
And look at this, like, so pretty, like this wildflower pattern. I'm just in love with this. When I saw this paper pack at Michael's, I got so excited. So I'm going to use, and the great thing about this the wood shape pack, it came in like 2 different sizes. So you can see it came in, I'll bring this down. It came in like this bigger size and this tinier size, but they're both really cute to hang on your tree. I kind of showcased on the class page the bigger size, but I'm going to show you guys with this smaller size today. So whenever I'm about to cut out something that I'm going to Mod Podge, I just like to be mindful of the area that I want to cut out, obviously. And so I like to find a really cute pattern that really speaks to me. And I like to get a lot of the pattern on there, and I like to cover up as much of the pattern as possible, because that's the part we're going to be cutting out. So I like this part. So all I'm going to do is grab my pencil, trace my shape.
That's a great tip to make sure that you're on a spot in the pattern that you like best, especially for tiny little pieces like that.
Exactly. And so I always like to use a pencil too, because obviously you could use the back and you can use like a permanent marker or a pen or something and trace it, but then you won't really be able to see what you're tracing. So I just like to use the front of my pattern, use a pencil, and that way it's really easy to erase.
That's a great idea.
And I'm just cutting this out. And I'm cutting out the full pattern. I'm not cutting out shapes. I cut out little individual shapes for the eggs, but for these flat wood flatwood surface ornament shape, guys. We're just cutting out, we're just tracing and cutting the shapes full. Okay, so like I said in the beginning, first, actually, I'm gonna erase the pencil marks. And like I said in the beginning, it doesn't matter what finish you use for this craft. I'm more of a matte gal. If you have been around to a couple of our classes, you know that already, but you could also use the gloss and the satin Mod Podge finish. And when I'm Mod Podging stuff like this, I like to apply my Mod Podge onto the surface and not onto my paper. I just find that my workspace stays a little cleaner. And another thing I'll mention, you guys, I always like to have some baby wipes, or if I'm not working by sink, or a wet paper towel, just so I can wipe some of the Mod Podge from my hands.
Baby wipes are great to have for Mod Podging, just because
Yeah,
without fail, you're gonna get Mod Podge stuck to your fingers and it dries so fast, you end up with just crusty, crumbly Mod Podge over your fingers. And I always mess up my projects by doing that. So, baby wipes just wipes it off so clean, have them right on hand. It's such a
yeah, absolutely. And so guys, I just want you to take a look. I don't know if you can see, but I have a really thin layer of Mod Podge. A little bit goes a long way. As long as it's all over your shape, you're good to go. And now we're just gonna place our paper right over our shape. And we don't need a brayer or a squeegee or anything. We're just gonna use our fingers to really tack that down and make sure it's really flush onto our wood shape. And look how cute, like a little wildflower ornament.
Really cute.
But we're not done yet. So what I want to do, just to make this look cleaner, see how there's a little bit of an edge that our paper has, it's showing a little bit.
Yeah, we can see it.
So I'm just going to use my scissors to trim that. So obviously you can use an X-Acto knife, but I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. I feel more comfortable using scissors, and it's okay if you do too, because you can totally use scissors to do this as well. And you just want to trim the excess edges off. And kind of put your scissors at an angle. You see what I mean? And I'm not using the tip of my scissors. I'm using the nook of my scissors. And that's really helping me to really get in there accurately.
Is that really what the inside is called, the nook?
Nope, just made that up.
I mean, it made total sense, but I was like,
Yeah.
gosh, I never knew what that was called. Is that really?
I know. I kind of wanted to say
now.
like the cranny of it, but then I thought, I was like, is cranny is that even a word? So I just chose to like say nook before I just didn't say anything.
I knew exactly what you were talking about. I had just never heard it before. We're always making up words on these classes. I don't know what it is about these Michael's classes that we're just making up English language words.
Next will be like doing classes for Webster's.
I don't think they're going to invite us to do any classes for them.
Okay, so now I'm busting out my treasure gold. Oops, just removing the lid. And this is treasure gold, Mayan gold. It is my favorite kind of treasure gold. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna apply our treasure gold to the edge of this, okay? And so I'm gonna dip this is just a really small flat brush, little bubble. And I'm gonna just kind of,
No, sorry, go ahead, keep going.
Okay, I'm just gonna kind of spounce there, and I'm hoping that some of my treasure gold kind of gets onto the like top of my ornament. What were you saying, Jess?
Cricket said it reminds her of the seasoning combo.
Oh my gosh.
If you guys are on our sign shop class, I think it was last week, where we did the chalkboard signs, we had a big debate on whether it was called, to prep your chalkboard, seasoning or priming or conditioning. There's a lot of different opinions on it. So
I think it's seasoning. Jesse thinks it's conditioning or priming, but me and Cricket are on the same team. Cricket thinks it's seasoning too.
True. I definitely am outnumbered. It just seems like it's not right.
I know that's 2 against 1. You can't beat those odds.
I know, you're right.
And I'm just tapping. Does that motion make sense? Let me know if it doesn't, you guys, and I'd be happy to do it again, but I'm just kind of spouncing it. And I'm not using the edge of my flat brush. I'm going like this. Okay. And I'm being generous with the application onto my brush, because I'm hoping that it will get onto the top of it.
Yeah, that
okay.
Makes sense. Kind of like pushing paint onto it.
Exactly. But if I were to just, go like this and brush off, I wouldn't have like this collection. And like, I'm getting like different textures when I'm just kind of bouncing it from the side,
Yeah, definitely. It's like really thick and it kind of builds up.
Yeah. And it looks like it's gilded. That's what I was going for. And
That's
see,
pretty.
once this guy dries and we stick a piece of twine on his back with a hot glue gun, he's going to join our tree.
I love that. So pretty.
Yeah. Okay. Our first ornament done.
Perfect.
Okay.
You're doing great on timing too, Em. We're 15 minutes in.
Okay, awesome. So I already went ahead and painted some eggs. This is painted with our beautiful French lilac color. And so now I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to dry brush this egg with treasure gold. And I'm using Mayan treasure gold for this whole display of ornaments. You can use whatever treasure gold speaks to you. We have some really pretty like pastel jewel tones in treasure gold that would be perfect for spring, some pinks and some blues and some purples and some greens. They are gorgeous too. So make sure you check out your local Michael's store or go online, and they have a really wide selection of treasure gold. Okay, so I don't know why I closed my treasure gold because we're going to open it up again.
Friday, man.
Okay, so, and Will, would you mind grabbing me a paper towel? Thank you, sir. So I'm just going to dip just a tiny bit of my brush in my treasure gold. See that much? Isn't it so pretty? Oh, thank you, Will. And I'm going to offload some of the paint onto my paper towel. Okay. Okay, I just can't get over treasure gold. Every time I use it, it's like I'm using it for the first time.
I love that.
Okay, so I barely have any paint on my brush. If you've ever stenciled before, we're looking for the same amount of paint as you would have on a stencil brush. We barely want any paint on our brush. And what we're going to do is we're just going to like act like we're base coating over our already painted brush. Or sorry, or over our already painted egg. And maybe we'll pick up a little bit more paint and offload again until we get barely any paint on our brush if we run out totally. And we're just going crazy with it, you guys.
That's really pretty. It makes it so shimmery so fast.
I know. And then you're done. So all I did was base coated that, dry brushed it with some treasure gold, and look how beautiful. Should we do one more?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
It's so fast. Like you almost miss it and it's done.
I know.
That's awesome. It's so quick and fun.
Yeah. So like I said, we're picking up some paint on our brush. We're offloading most of it. And then we're acting like we're base coating it with barely any paint on our brush.
Wow, that's really pretty.
How are we looking in the chat, Jess?
We're looking good. Really just me and Cricut are chatting.
Okay.
We have a lot of people watching, but not a lot of going on in the chat. So guys, if you're crafting for Easter or if you're done with your Easter crafts and you've moved on to summer crafts or something, let us know what you're working on. Let us know if you're using our products or other products. We would love to be inspired by you. We'd love to know if there's anything you guys want to learn from us. Go ahead and pop those. Oh,
yeah.
Catherine just got here. Hey, Catherine.
Oh, hey, Catherine. Just as a reminder, you guys,
like to learn, and we're always looking for class ideas. We're here so much, and so let us know what we would like to see from us.
Absolutely. And I was just going to add, just as a reminder, we work at Plaid, obviously, and Plaid is the makers of FolkArt paint, Mod Podge, Bucilla, a bunch of amazing things that they have at Michael's. So if you're crafting and working on any of those projects at home and you have any type of Mod Podge or acrylic painting questions, we'd be happy to answer those questions and hopefully give you some tips from people who work with those things every day and know a lot about the product. So just keep that in mind whenever you come and stop by one of our Plaid classes.
Yeah. And next week, guys, on our Plaid Crafts Facebook page, we are doing a new product showcase. So we go live a lot on our Facebook page, so you guys can see us there too, in addition to all these Michael's classes we participate in. But next week, we are doing 2 live streams every single day. It's going to be jam-packed, just teaching you guys and telling you all about all of the brand new products that Plaid is coming out with this year. So just a lot. We've got Mod Podge resin, which is really exciting. We've got new folk art formulas, and most of them will be at Michael's. So make sure to join us on the Plaid Crafts Facebook page next week, because we're going to be going live all the time, talking to you guys all about all the brand new products that are just getting released.
Yeah, I'm glad you pointed that out, Jess.
Yeah.
Okay, so keeping with the same super cute piece of scrapbook paper that I used for this guy, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna cut out the individual flower shapes because we're gonna add them onto our eggs with some Mod Podge. So this can be a little time consuming. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, cutting out all these really tiny flower shapes, but the payoff is so worth it in the end. And I'm just gonna do a couple because I know you guys don't wanna sit here and watch a girl cut out pieces of paper for like 10 minutes. So I'm just gonna do a couple. Okay, and one thing I would say to you guys at home too, whenever I'm cutting out really small shapes, cut it down to a workable size. That is a great tip.
That is really
And then it just makes it so much quicker and easier to cut out the shape that you're looking for. And one more tip I'll give you guys too. If you are Mod Podging onto a 3D surface, first of all, we love to recommend using napkins if you are more of a beginner or if you're more advanced, because napkins are really forgiving and they go onto 3D objects really well, as opposed to something like cardstock, which really, really does go onto 3D surfaces well, but it does take some practice. And so it's just something that you have to build your skill in.
It's a great tip.
Yeah, and so hopefully I'm going to give you guys a couple of little tips and tricks on how to Mod Podge a thicker paper like the one we're using today onto a 3D surface.
Emily had a great idea. She said,
Okay.
I don't have any flowery ones, but I bet paper punches would work well for this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
those little scrapbooking paper punches to cut out little shapes from even just solid color paper. That's a great idea.
So cute, Emily.
Excuse me.
I love this paper, like these wildflowers.
Me too. I kind of like cutting stuff out of paper, like for Mod Podge projects. Just
I
like put on
know.
a movie and just like cut. It's kind of like mindless, like knitting or something. You just kind of
It really is.
turn your brain off.
Sometimes that kind of crafting is like really cathartic, just sitting and being mindless and letting your hands work, but your mind be at rest.
Right, exactly. That is a really pretty pack of paper.
All right, so we're gonna work with those 3 for now, those tiny little flowers.
Elisa said, I'm wondering if I can Mod Podge paper or napkins onto plastic eggs. And you
Yeah.
definitely can. You can use like the jelly bean, like Easter bunny eggs, but we'd recommend sanding them first, just because they're so shiny, they're so slick. The Mod Podge is going to want to peel off of them. So just, rough them up a little with like a piece of sandpaper, and the Mod Podge will stick really well that way, or paint or whatever it is that you're using.
Yeah, absolutely. Even when a paint says it's multi-surface, if it works on terracotta and glass and metal and, ceramic, whatever, it's always really hard to get whatever is claiming to be multi-surface on plastic.
Plastic is a tricky one for sure.
It is just so hard to paint or to Mod Podge on plastic, but that is the best thing we found that works the best. It's just sanding it down a little bit, creating a little bit of texture on that plastic, and it works wonders. Okay, so we're gonna go in with our Mod Podge Matte again. And take a flat brush. And I'd like to know in the chat, you guys, are you guys Mod Podge beginners? Are you more advanced Mod Podgers? Did you just like the look of these Easter eggs and you've never even Mod Podged before?
Yeah.
I'd love to know all of your experience with Mod Podge.
Karen said she must be experienced, because she said, in addition to napkins and paper, tissue paper works well too.
Yes, absolutely. I'm glad you pointed that out, Karen.
We did like 3 tissue paper Mod Podge crafts in our studio today.
Yeah, we did. Any kind of really thin, like textile, like napkins or fabric or tissue paper, it's really forgiving with Mod Podge, and you don't get a lot of wrinkles, and it goes on really nicely. And we're just Mod Podging, and we're just placing our flowers down. And like I said in the beginning, this paper is a little bit thicker. So as you can see, I'm holding my my fingers down and just making sure that it really gets that, that it really sticks the paper to the egg. And that's something I always do when I Mod Podge something that's a little thicker like this paper. One thing you want to know is you want to make sure that your fingertips are really clean. So if I just were to use my Treasure Gold and I had some on my fingertips, or I was just using my regular FolkArt and had some on my fingertips, I would want to go wash those before I did this technique, because if I'm sticking my Mod Podge hands to this piece of paper and making sure it stays on my egg, then the paint is going to come off of my fingers onto the paper. So just be mindful of that.
Okay, so we have people letting us know their experience with Mod Podge.
Okay.
Let me go to the top so I don't miss any. Gail said, I've used Mod Podge for years. It's great. Awesome, Gail. We have too.
Awesome.
Liz said, I've never heard of Mod Podge until a few months ago.
Okay.
So also for all of you new Mod Podgers, a lot of people say Mod Podge because it really does just roll off the tongue. You want to say that rhyme, but it is Mod Podge. It's short for modern decoupage. So just kind of remember that, and you can remember that it's Mod Podge, not Mod Podge.
Yeah, it's not modern decoupage.
Exactly. But it's a very common mistake. Most people always say Mod Podge. C. Johnson said, I have used Mod Podge for years as well. Catherine Randall said, I love Mod Podge and Treasure Gold.
Me too.
And then we have a quick question.
Okay.
What is the best way to clean Mod Podge from your brushes?
Okay, so we have found that soap and water works really well, but you can also use a paintbrush cleaner. I know they have some really great ones at Michael's in the fine art section, and just look for any type of brush cleaner. And that works really well for Mod Podge, as well as whatever kind of latex or acrylic paint that you're using. It just, breaks down those barriers like in the Mod Podge and in the paint, and it makes your brush come back to life again. So look for a really good paintbrush cleaner in the fine art section at Michael's. So guys, now I'm just cutting out this bigger shape of paper because I just want to show you a little trick for when you are Mod Podging something that's a little bit larger with this thicker paper onto a 3D object. Okay. I love this paper. I'm not going to stop talking about it. It reminds me of like dried wildflowers, this paper pack. It looks like that's what I'm Mod Podging onto this egg. Okay, so after I apply my Mod Podge, I like to kind of see where it's going to lay on the egg and where, where it looks okay. And I'm just going to score this just a little bit. And what I want to be mindful of is I want to score what makes sense in the design. So see how this goes from a white flower to a pink flower? I'm just going to trim it like this a little bit. And that way I can just kind of overlap it. Okay, so when it folds, I still get both of my really pretty patterns. Is that making sense, Jess?
Yeah, you're putting a dart into the flower, just like sewing. Yeah.
I was using the wrong term. I'm putting a dart into it just like you would with a sewing pattern, okay? Mm-hmm. And that really, really helps to, keep larger pieces of thick things onto your 3D objects when you're Mod Podging.
Great. It's a really smart idea because cardstock is so stiff. It does not want to bend. It wants to wrinkle and pop back up to its flat shapes. That's a great idea to put a dart so it can overlap each other and sit on a round surface. Brilliant. Yeah. And doesn't that look really great, you guys? Catherine Randall said Steve showed us this the other day. So I bet you're talking about Kathy and Steve. So that's awesome. Yeah, I don't think I saw that episode of Make It with Mod Podge, but I guess Steve Piacenza was making some darts in his paper too. That's awesome. Yeah, it's a really great tip. And once you kind of figure out that tip, the options are endless with 3Ding with Mod Podging onto 3D objects. Okay, so the last thing, because I think we're doing okay on time. Yep, we're good. The last thing we're going to do is we are going to grab this more brightly colored egg. And I just want to show you two of our awesome Mod Podge formulas. So I'm going to grab this. Actually, maybe I'll grab these flat shapes because it should be easier to show you guys. Oh, Catherine Reynolds said he showed napkins around the egg. Oh, okay.
Yeah, napkins are really great for Mod Podging on Easter eggs. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a lot of cool formulas of Mod Podge at Michael's. And if you go onto michaels.com or you take a peek down the Mod Podge aisle at Michael's, you will see all of our great formulas we have there. And you can also go to plaidonline.com and go to our Mod Podge landing page and see our Mod Podge catalog. And we have listed all of our different Mod Podge products that you can purchase at Michael's, wherever you're shopping, exactly. Okay, but I know they have these two great formulas at Michael's, along with some other cool sparkly formulas. So first I'm going to show you our Mod Podge Sparkle. And after that, I'm going to show you our Mod Podge Mega Glitter. And I just want to say before I get started, the difference between these two is the particle size of glitter, okay? So the Sparkle is has a little bit smaller pieces of glitter in it. And then the Mega Glitter, just like its name, it has mega pieces of glitter in it. So it's really just depending on the kind of style that you want for your finished project. It's up to you which one you like, but I'm going to show you the two. And the reason I'm showing you guys these two products is because I just feel like they're really cute for spring. Not a whole lot of people know about these kind of Mod Podge formulas. So I just wanted to show you guys this today. Okay, so I'm gonna just grab my flat.
Like after you show the glitter size, can you show us the darting of the paper again after you're done with the sparkles?
Sure.
Thanks.
Oh, it's so pretty. And if you have never used Mod Podge before, it goes on and it has a kind of milky color, but when it dries totally clear. So hopefully this will dry enough in this class where I can show you just how sparkly they are.
Yeah, a lot of people will like seal something with Mod Podge and they won't realize that it dries clear and they like freak out because it looks white when you out of the jar, but it always dries clear. Even the glitters that are in that milky white base, it'll always dry clear, so don't worry.
Yeah.
I just heard a story recently about somebody, we felt so bad. Somebody was doing a puzzle and they used our Mod Podge Puzzle Saver, which is a great product if you're into puzzles. You can seal your puzzle so it stays after you're done with it and you can hang it on the wall. And they poured Mod Podge Puzzle Saver out and brushed it on and it was all white. And they freaked out because they thought it was some sort of white paint and they had the wrong thing. And they wiped it off and they felt like their puzzle was ruined. But really, it just looks super white and then it will always dry clear. So just remember that.
Absolutely. And I also want to mention, you guys, in our Mega Glitter Mod Podge formulas, we have a silver and a gold. So our sparkle is going to be kind of iridescent, kind of celestial looking, and our Mega Glitter is going to be those chunkier glitters, like I said, and the glitters have a color. They're either silver or gold, and we're using the silver today. I have made this precious. Oh, awesome. And Jess, I was going to say, I have made a mistake similar to that. One time I was using one time I was doing a pouring project and I thought that I was using our FolkArt pouring medium, but I was actually using FolkArt pre-mixed pouring in white. And I was like, why is all my FolkArt colors getting so pale and pastel?
Why am I making a pastel pour by accident?
It's because I was mixing them with white paint.
That's actually really funny. I never heard that before.
Lesson learned.
C. Johnson said, love all the formulas of Mod Podge. When I started using Mod Podge, there was only one type.
Yeah.
Mod Podge has come a long way in a short period of time. It really has.
It sure has. We have dozens of formulas now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is the Mega Glitter. See how shiny and sparkly?
Oh, yeah.
In silver. And it still hasn't dried fully, but this is the sparkle.
Oh, pretty. So it's like more of a shimmer.
Yeah.
Love that, Em.
Ah, see, I'm catching the light there.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
And look how cute, blah, blah, blah. How cute would this be on your little Easter tree with light shining on it through the window?
Really cute.
Okay, so I'm going to show you guys how to make a dart again.
Okay, and while you're getting papers, Emily said it has so many different color flecks in it. It really does. It's like iridescent almost. Yeah. It's so pretty. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really pretty. I'm going to use a bigger.
Oh, that's a good idea. So you can see it better. Great idea.
Yeah. That one was kind of tiny.
Yeah.
I don't know what to choose. They're all so cute.
I like that one. Do a big flower off that pack or that
Okay.
sheet. I saw that one earlier and I loved it.
Uh-huh. Okay, let's go for this yellow flower. It'll be easy to cut out.
Perfect.
And whenever I'm cutting whatever I'm cutting with the intention of Mod Podging it onto something, I just want to, you know, sometimes I'm not the cleanest cutter. So if I'm going to lose any of the shape, or let's see how I want to say this. Because I'm not very precise when I craft, you guys. I don't want any of this white space on this shape because that white space is going to stick out on this color.
Right,
I
it'll
only
show.
want this yellow. So I don't want to pick up any of this white space. If anything, I want to lose some of this yellow space. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Because the white will look like there's a white ring around it.
Exactly.
You
And
won't
that
be able
might
to
be
tell if a little bit of the flower is missing.
right. And that might be common sense to some people, but for others, it may not be. So
No,
I
that's
just
a
wanted
good
to,
tip.
yeah, I just wanted to point that out.
Because most people are probably going to try to avoid cutting off any of the shape when really it's better to
Right.
cut off some of the shape and don't get any of that background color because it'll stand out like a sore thumb.
Exactly.
Excellent tip. Emily said, I just ordered this pack, picking it up tomorrow and it's on sale.
I'm so glad.
Extra exciting.
Yeah. Okay. So now that we have a big piece to work with, I'm going to open my mat again real quick. So I'm going to take a gander of where I want to lay it out and where it curves a lot.
And
Because
show
that's gonna,
how it doesn't fit on it because it's so stiff. Can you show us
okay.
that?
You see that?
Yep. It does not want to fit around on that round object.
No, and it's going to pop off.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to make sure that it's as dynamic as we can make it so that it wants to fit to the shape. And so we're going to cut a dart on it, just a little slit in the paper so that we can fold the paper onto itself, kind of like you're making a dumpling or something,
Mm-hmm.
so that it'll fit to the 3D object better. I feel like I'm like talking about rocket science, like trying to like
Emma doesn't do much sewing, but she does do a lot of cooking. So people who are seamstresses or like to sew a lot, this is a pretty common concept, the dart.
Yeah, they're all laughing at me because I'm talking about like, I'm always talking about kind of like kneading dough, kind of like making a dumpling.
I know,
like
you do use food a lot.
Maybe I'm just always hungry.
Oh, Brigitte said there's a great craft book called Mod Podge Rocks. That's how I got hooked onto Mod Podge. Yes, that is an awesome craft book. We have it in our studio all the time. We love that book too. Oh, Emily said, don't feel bad. In woodworking, it's called kerfing.
Okay, thank you, Emily.
Yeah, thanks, Emily.
So I don't know if you guys saw, but I just cut that little piece right there.
Yep.
And I'm going to place it on there. And see, the paper is going to want to separate now. Okay, so now we have like a little spot, okay, where it's kind of separating. And that's allowing the shape to really cling onto there.
That is awesome. Also,
that makes
everyone
sense.
is backing you up. Everybody says they really understood the dumpling example.
Okay, good. Like you're pinching it kind of like it's laying on top of each other, but only so subtly.
And Emily said, we're all going to need a snack after this.
I know. Sorry, everybody.
Emma's making us hungry on this Friday afternoon.
Okay.
Cool.
How
thanks,
cute.
Matt. That's awesome.
And I think with that, you guys, now you know how to make all of these lovely little ornaments. You know how to cut out the bigger sections and place them on your wood shapes. You know how to cut out all your little icons and add them to your painted eggs. And of course, now you know how to dry brush and create some really kind of luxurious looking, sophisticated Easter eggs for adults. So again, we just want to say a huge thank you to Michaels for allowing us to provide you guys with some inspiration today. Like we said in the beginning of this class, if you were inspired and want to share all of your work on social media, make sure to hashtag Make It With Michaels and hashtag Plaid Crafts, because we're always looking under those two hashtags and we'd love to be inspired by what you guys are working on at home. Am I missing anything, Jess?
I don't think so. Don't forget, we've got our new product showcase on our Plaid Crafts Facebook page if you're interested in learning about some of the new products that Plaid has coming out this year, most of which will be sold in Michaels stores and on michaels.com. So make sure to check out our Plaid Crafts Facebook page. And I think that's it, guys. Everybody have a great weekend and thanks for joining.
Bye.
See you Monday. Bye.